listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alun Cochrane. And you know what? If you want to text us, and we'd love it if you did, you can get us on 81215, or you can follow us on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Or you can email us through the Absolute website. That is my housekeeping done. I can relax and talk like a human being again. If you remember last week when we weren't here, but we were here in recorded form, I said I was going to go to a wedding on the Saturday. I was accompanied by Emily Dean. Well, I say accompanied, we were out in the same room.
We made our own ways there.
We were at the same wedding. We barely spoke all day.
Yeah.
Awkward.
No.
We had...
I thought it was, in a way, it was beautiful.
Had conjugals the night before.
You promised?
You did promise.
Yeah. Oh, I promised, all right.
Actually, I think you said conjugals. You meant madrigals, didn't you?
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah, we did a bit of medieval chant.
Oh, nice.
The night before. It reminded me. I heard Johnny Cash interviewed once, and he was
and that Johnny Cash.
He was talking about his friendship with Bob Dylan, and they said, "Are you very close?" He said, "We're so close. We once went fishing, and we didn't speak to each other for 4 hours." And at the time I thought, that doesn't sound all that close. I've had car journeys like that with women all over the world. But I realised that day, we just knew we were there, the warm glow. Every now and again we'd look across and I could see Emily deep in conversation with someone. So I knew she was all right, and it was smashing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you had responsibilities.
I did. My child was the ring bearer.
It was very... it was a good comedy moment.
It was.
Because he asked for it back, didn't he?
Yeah, he handed over the ring and then he wanted it back. And usually with a baby you'll give in, but obviously the brides could be stubborn.
Big day, yeah.
They could be stubborn with the ring thing.
Rachel was good, she was quite firm. She said, "No, I'm keeping this."
Yes.
Good.
No, let's hope she never gets to say that again. So it was a non-religious ceremony. Now, I know what you're thinking from the way the cockerel looked at me then, that you must have been furious, he was thinking.
To be honest, I broke into a big grin.
Yes.
And,
but no, it wasn't like that. Don't you think for 1 second after every vow I was going, whatever, really loudly.
Internally, maybe.
No, I'll tell you what you were doing was tuning up your ukulele for your big performance.
That's true. I was tuning up my ukulele. I've heard some terms for it over the years. No, I'm fine. I think non-religious people should have non-religious ceremonies. That makes sense. I'm all for that.
Oh, good.
And they can keep their hands off Christmas as well, which is also one of ours, as indeed is OMG. Lay off that. And as a Catholic, I think we can claim self-harming.
Surely.
Oh God, we were doing that before these kids knew what was going on.
You can have guilt as well. Can we put?
I better throw away that hair shirt. I had it all ready for autumn winter.
You call it guilt, I call it conscience. Anyway, it was lovely, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a lovely wedding.
It was really lovely, and it all went well. And I say it all went well. There was one thing that really annoyed me.
What was that?
I had to get the baby to sleep.
Yeah.
And to do so, I had to walk about 2 miles, pushing him in a buggy to get him.
I know. I've got a confession to make. I took a picture of you doing so.
Did you?
Because it was something quite touching about it, and almost Pickettian. You were wandering off over hill and dale.
I was like a mile from the actual ceremony, pushing this thing.
Did it work?
It did work, and then whatever happened to when you're in a photograph? People say, "Okay, say cheese." And then everyone says cheese.
Oh, is that gone?
We got into the big mass photograph, and the photographer... I've got the baby there in the buggy asleep, and he says, "I want everyone to give me the loudest cheer they can." So they all went, "Woo!" And, of course, the baby woke up.
Oh.
Now, what you get if everyone cheers is one of those pictures you get in the local paper when a school has raised nearly £80 for sport relief, and you get, like, 80 kids doing the big cheer. That's not what you want from a wedding photo. You want smiling. Yeah. Surely you want warmth.
My problem with group photos is there's just not enough of me in them.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
And I always get some looks when I turn around to everyone there in a very I've been photographed many times kind of way and say, if you can see the camera can see you. And you can see them going, but, you know, they do then look for the camera. They don't want to be educated. But.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, that's what happened with the hotel.
Oh, you were in a lovely hotel, weren't you? I was in a B&B, and Emily was in a deluxe
A Jacobean
hotel.
manor.
Really? Were you there going, how the other half live?
Yeah. Well, no, but I made a bit of a mistake because I booked the Jacobean manor. It was the only one in the district, which is why I booked it. And then I discovered it was where the bride and groom were staying.
Is that bad?
Yes. They're coming back with the rose petals on the bed, me in a bathrobe. Only me. It's not very romantic,
No,
is it?
I guess
so I
you're
thought, well, look, I'll be discreet.
Blend in.
Yeah. You know what I'm like about being discreet. I didn't want to tread on their toes.
So you just lay in rose petals like that girl from American Beauty.
I demanded the bridal suite. You know, I'm sorry. I did try and hitch a lift back with them in the wedding car, and I asked someone, I said, do you think that's unreasonable? We're all going to the same place. I'll be no trouble, I'll go in the boot.
It's an interesting point, that, though. Why not?
Guess what happened?
It's not a religious ceremony.
Oh, Frank.
I don't know if that's religious.
I listened to the show last week, though, because I was in the Jacobean Manor, ordered room service. I thought, I wonder what it'll sound like, I'll put it on. So I put the show on. I was quite enjoying it. And then the lady knocked on the door with the room service, and my voice was booming around the room. How embarrassing. I said, it's my radio show, just listening to it. And she went, shall I just put these here, then? It was awful, Frank. I was trying to boast that I was a celebrity, and she wasn't interested.
I listened to the show as well. So obviously, I'm usually... it's difficult to listen to when it's happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
Loved it. I'll tell you something I've discovered. I've always thought of myself as something of a romantic, but, you know, as you get older, that can fade a little. And in the goodie bag, the children's goodie bag, and I don't need to think I was ferreting around in the children's goodie bags at the wedding, but I did manage to procure a couple of packets of love hearts.
Oh!
And I ate them both. And I realised, with about 2 love hearts to go, I had not read one of them. I've stopped reading love hearts. Now that is...
Oh my God.
That's a sign that your romance
You're a
factor
monster.
has gone down a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't even... So what, I thought.
You think that's just a bit of your brain that you don't need to be even considering anymore? It's gone.
What, romance?
Yeah.
Well, I hope
Is that
not.
what you're saying?
I think you can be in a long-term relationship and still have a certain amount of romance.
No, you
Yeah.
can't.
You can.
I've
Look at
told
Michael Douglas and Catherine's...
guys, I
The
already have...
Obamas have a date night, don't they? They have a date night where they go for
They
a
just
date.
eat dates.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd like to see that. I don't know if I want another one. Yeah, come on, Edith, you said you're 30, you only did 22.
Frank, I've told you this morning...
That's how she talks.
It
Did you
is
know
how
that?
she talks. There's nothing like... I told you this morning what troubles me a little bit about long-term relationships is you basically have children and then watch box sets for the rest of your life. All you do is watch box sets
I'm looking
together.
forward to the box sets phase.
It's brilliant.
That's all couples do. Oh, did you see this? Did you see that?
Yes.
I'm
Any
not-
couples listening? We know it's true. I mean, why fight it?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in
Good.
from 362.
And it was it on 8/12/15?
It was,
See,
Frank.
I suddenly got in the text.
Very
thing.
smooth, that.
I like that.
Slick.
Pleased with that.
This is William 362. There's no
yes.
point using the 362 if you're going to reveal your name's William.
I like it. It's a bit like William Wales.
Dear Mr. Radio, Divine Miss M and the Cockerel,
Morning.
where stand you on the Northampton Clown? Wow.
Oh, the Northampton Clown.
I'm glad you've raised this.
In case you don't know the Northampton Clown, it's a man. We think it's a man anyway. It might not be.
Yeah,
I
it's a man.
suppose, who appears
think
in
he's-
full clown outfit.
It's fairly standard clown chic.
Yeah, I think it's supposedly it's based on a Stephen King clown character, isn't it? But anyway, it's a clown who appears in Northampton, often in like the early hours of the morning, unaccompanied.
Yeah.
And it's been frightening people. I
Yeah.
say it.
Well, it's from the Stephen King story, It. So you're right.
And the
Isn't
clown's
it?
called Pennywise.
That's right.
Alan's a big fan of that character.
Oh, I'm all over that. I just wonder how much you spent on the costume.
Tartan onesie.
You sure that's not a shop? That Pennywise
Probably
really
is,
yeah.
should be a shop. It's got to be.
Yeah, it must be.
He's got the comedy
This is
goat
not going
on.
to turn out to be an advert for a shop, is it? The
Oh, I
Northampton
hope not.
Clown. That would be a real.
Where he's let himself down, the clown. He's got the clown chic, but he's let himself down on the footwear. He's
What?
got a Converse.
No.
Trainer.
Oh, he hasn't gone for
He hasn't
an
gone for-
oversized shoe.
No.
Oh, well, if he's listening, I've got some clown shoes in my office.
But how often how often do you see a fine fancy dress outfit let down by footwear?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know
A lot
what I
of
mean?
the
You'll see
time.
someone and, oh, look at that lovely monk outfit. Trainers.
December,
Oh.
Yeah.
Santa's in Reeboks.
When
it's not
people,
right.
when people they try to finish off a cowboy outfit with just a pair of lace-up shoes.
What about a ghost outfit with a mini cab driver slip on? I can't abide that.
But is this person definitely a clown, or have they just not rubbed their moisturiser in? Because there are
Very-
mornings I look in the mirror and I think, I really do need I need to have another go at that.
You need to go
I know.
full pat makeup.
I'm pallid.
He's almost albino, Frank, I'd say, this character.
Yeah? Has he got hair?
He's got the scarlet sideburns
Oh, those things, yeah, the side
and
side
the
patches.
slightly Botoxy eyebrows.
One thing I liked is Alan Moore, the comic writer who lives
lives in Northampton, yeah.
has had to publicly state that it's not him. And he's got a massive beard, Alan Moore. So how he could have got away with that, I don't know. But
He has
I
been
did like
quoted, this character. He said, I just wanted to amuse people.
Yeah, he's done an interview with
You two say that every week at 11 o'clock.
Northampton newspaper.
Well, it's interesting though, because if there was no internet, like if pre-internet, if I'd have been walking to the pub, say, or say I was walking back from the pub one night and I'd seen a clown, the next night I'd go in the pub and say, I was walking back last night, I saw a clown that looked like that Stephen King character, Pennywise, just on his own in a dark alley. And someone would say, anyway, who's round? That would be the end of that conversation.
Yeah.
But with the internet, it's
Yeah.
become a major sensation.
It has.
Well, one woman said, you've been spotted, now get out of that clown suit and start acting like a grown-up.
Yeah, I must admit, women have said that to me over the years. And, it's really hard to get it back bedroom-wise
Yeah.
after you've had that kind of reprimand.
What's your clown name?
Yeah.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, Bob's doing the handover this morning to Charlie.
Ah, yes, Bob, who has been, as you know, that in case you've knew, Bob is our assistant producer who doesn't use soap or any kind of product.
That's his USP.
Yeah.
That's his USP, and Bob is leaving us for, is it Birds of a Feather, Bob?
Yeah.
Birds of a Feather.
That's not a
It's
phrase,
coming-
by the way.
No,
People might be listening. thinking that's just a phrase.
I know people thinking, that's that club in Vauxhall. But it isn't. It isn't. It's coming back.
I saw pictures of
would
Leslie
I
Joseph in the
do?
paper. Oh, don't, that depresses me, that song.
Okay.
It's a really upsetting
Nice.
song, it's horrible.
Okay, and he's been replaced by Charlie, who some of you may remember was around last week.
But they're doing a handover in a sort of Bush to Obama style way.
Yeah, I was thinking it's more like Chris Patton handing over Hong Kong.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like that.
so it's handover day
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah.
We've had a good, funny text in from Ian Angel,
I
who's
think we'll judge that
Angle?
as a group if you don't mind.
Well, I'm just saying, I think it's good, based on the Northampton Clown story.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like that angry woman is going straight for the juggler. Jugular?
This is the woman who wants to get him off. I like it. It is good. Fair
Although I
play.
don't believe the clown does juggle. I think he just stands there looking
We don't
spooky.
know yet. I think he's just started.
All right, you think he's got a,
He's got
a big finish?
He's got to have a bit more than just standing around, hasn't he?
That's all he does, apparently.
I did that once in Edinburgh. I was doing a show. It's my first ever Edinburgh show, and I was on at 1 o'clock. I think I was on.
Oh, yeah. 1
Um,
p.m.
Yeah, lunchtime. And when I got in, actually I was on at midday, and before me there was a clown show for children, 11 till 12. And they were on for a week, and on one occasion 2 people turned up who they knew, who'd driven up from Brighton, so they had to do the show just for them. On the other occasion, no one at all turned up for that show. So every time I got in, there'd be 3 clowns sitting in full clown outfit, having a bit of a post-mortem about what was going wrong. I remember one morning, one of them said, what if we did a buy one, get one free? And this other clown, remember, he's dressed as a clown with a big clown face, and I said, yeah, I'm afraid that's too little too late. It's coming from a clown, someone in a clown outfit.
Did he honk his glitter horn shortly after that?
Well, if he did, I didn't see it. But yes, well, I'm sure there will be a culmination to this clown.
Well, he's already done an interview with a local paper where he answered a lot of...
He's already breaking all the... He's supposed to be enigmatic.
Do you know what? He's turning into a celebrity.
I think he might have done the interview using, like, non-face-to-face
through the
media.
medium of mime.
Yeah, he gave some very long answers.
Yeah.
He's some sort of Banksy figure, this clown.
Yeah, I think he is. And they said to him, like, how old are you? And he said he was, like, 328 years old and stuff. So
that means he's 45, he's embarrassed.
I bet that's a lie.
Yeah, I think there are a few lies. And they said to him, where do you live? And he said, oh, people are starting to work that out. I think, you know, people are
Northampton, that's my guess.
Well, I guess that they're working it out by just following bits of his car back to his house.
It's actually made a point in the thing that there has been no sign of an exploding car. I think that would be a health and safety.
All right,
I like the
still
idea
abiding
of...
by the rules, do you think?
But, guys, I like random circus freaks turning up. Just
I'll
on
tell
the
you
street. What about a bearded lady outside my house?
But this, what about one inside your house?
I set you up.
But I tell you what, there was someone else who said he's going to get this clown because he was frightening people. And this is a yet another example of where we have to, as individuals, decide which group we're in. Some of you who listen to the show regularly will know that I saw a naked bike ride the other week.
Oh, yeah.
And there's lots of people naked on bikes, as you'd expect from a naked bike ride. And a man near to me with his family, his wife and baby, turned around and said, weirdos. Now, it's those sort of people that are hunting down the Northampton Clown. And if it comes to, we have to decide one way or the other, I got to say, I'm with the clown.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I've just had a bit of a flashback, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Just a quick wedding thing. I never told you this, but I was talking to you on the side of the dance floor. You look quite good on it, actually.
On the side of the dance floor?
Yeah.
That'd be a good track.
And I think all the single ladies came on.
Oh, yes.
And so I thought, and so I went, I think this is my cue to dance.
You certainly did. You certainly did exactly that voice.
Yeah.
as well.
I flounced off. I put my heel right through the hem of my dress.
Oh.
I had to style it out.
Such a lovely dress.
Oh, it was lovely, wasn't it? I know.
It was a bit odd seeing the bride dancing to all the single ladies. But, you know,
So soon.
but as I say, it wasn't a religious ceremony.
Yeah.
All bets were off.
So we've had a tweet in. This is from
This
Craig.
is exciting, isn't it? I really feel like we're living in the 21st century.
Aren't we?
Yeah, Craig Pritchard. He says, if there were only 2 chairs in the studio, who would stand and why?
Well,
What do we say to that?
Well, it wouldn't be me,
Why not?
because I'm the man.
his name's on the door, isn't it?
But what about some,
No, I have to drive
some
the...
shock jock type
Because I
affair?
drive the desk, I have buttons and slides, and I won't
I
be able to
drive
reach
the
them. if I was
desk.
I drive the desk that makes the whole world sing.
He does.
Frank, isn't that quite shock jock to stand?
I think I would stand.
I think they stand at Capitol.
Do they?
Yeah, I did. I think that's why Foxy left. He couldn't do it anymore. He was on sticks towards the end. No, I think they do. Yeah, it's supposed to give more energy to the voice.
Well, I read that Richard
I'm
Branson has
in the
meetings
BBC show.
standing
I
up.
think they've given up and giving more energy to that. But yes, it's supposed to be good for you too.
Yeah. But I would happily stand for the show because it's good for my sacroiliac.
Oh, here
It's
we
bad
go
for my
again.
sacroiliac to be sat down
Here
for
we go
hours.
for the sacroiliac.
Oh, makes me ill, that sacroiliac.
It's making me it's sometimes agonising.
Is it really? Would you actually go so far as to call it agonising, or
If I've had
or are you just reaching for a dictionary then when you couldn't think of an adjective?
I've perhaps over-egged it a bit with agonising,
Okay.
but quite achy late in the day. If I've had a day where I've had to sit a lot, it's a pain. And it is a pain. It is literally a pain.
Do you think you might bring out a song called Achy Breaky Sacroiliac?
Well, there are a lot of... we've had a few texts during the week, actually, about the... You know, we talked last week about the
Can I
word
just say I
sacroiliac.
No.
I haven't had any texts.
We had several texts saying that sacroiliac appears in songs, and an email from Elliot.
The word sacroiliac.
Yeah, because I'd refed it in Blondie Rapture.
Oh, yes,
Exactly.
of course. Of course.
Elliot says, "Hi Frank, Emily, Alun. You may be interested to know that the word sacroiliac appears in the classic early rap song The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
great
Of course.
Old school.
Yeah.
I think we're all fully paid up fans.
Yeah.
Love it when Frank uses a K in school.
And it
Yeah.
goes, got a bum education, double-digit inflation.
Got a brum education.
No.
bum.
No, he means a bottom
Got
education.
a bum education.
Can't take the train to the job.
Brum
There's a strike at the
What a holiday
station.
that was.
I'm just carrying on. Neon King
Sorry.
Kong standing on my back. Can't stop
you
to
gotta do
turn
it
around. Broke my
properly.
sacroiliac.
Mid-range migraine, cancer membrane. Sometimes I think I'm going insane. Swear I might hijack a plane.
Don't
Wow.
push me, 'cause I'm close to the edge.
Absolutely marvellous.
That's the,
I think, isn't that what Bono? That's Bono's line.
I had a feeling
I'm
it
quite
would be a
close to
Bono
it.
joke.
We've had our differences, but I am quite close. What about this then? So I can't dance, I can't really sing, I can only do one thing, and that's to be Lady Sovereign. Remember that one?
No, I don't.
That's from Love Me or Hate Me by Lady Sovereign. How could you have forgot that?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Christine's excited. She's tweeted us. She says, "Wow, Northampton has made it big." At Frank on the radio, talking about the clown on Absolute Radio.
Oh, the clown. Can I ask you a question? It's good that she's excited. When you said Christine excited, I thought John Profumo would come in. Google it. Is the Northampton Clown, is that a pun on Northampton Town, the
Oh,
football?
I thought that at first.
Oh.
The Cobblers.
See,
Yes.
exactly. Like, you know, they used to have a shoemaking history of all things that he should have got
No,
right on the outfit.
they have a shoemaking history.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. They used to have a shoemaking
But
industry.
you're right,
on it.
in a place based on footwear, for him to get the wrong
think he'd have
shoes.
got that right.
Clown shoes as well, I mean, they're archetypal.
Well, exactly.
And
That's
also, he
it.
could have done that thing of leaning really, really far forward and not falling over.
Well, that
He
would have
should have
spooked
given
people on their way
older-
home from the pub, wouldn't
Yeah, how many people can do that at 3 o'clock in the morning in Northampton?
He could have got hold of some big... He should have given old Winslet a call.
Yeah. Yeah, Kate must have some throwaways.
Yeah.
Lovely, but there'd be good stylish ones as well.
318 has something to say about this clown character.
Okay.
This clown character
Yeah.
is surely unique. Told you they had something to say about
Is
this
this
clown
going to be
character.
another rap?
I've been trying to think, no. I've been trying to think of any other profession one might dress up as and stand around with the related paraphernalia, just staring and pointing at people. Someone dressed as an office admin manager, for example, probably wouldn't have the same chilling effect.
Oh, is that right?
What say you,
I don't
Skinner?
know what an office admin person is. I can think of people
Oh, don't
who...
do your celebrity thing. Oh, I don't know people in offices.
I can think of people whose job involves standing around at night in elaborate costumes, but I'm not going to talk about them on breakfast. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm warming to the clown. People
Are you?
should do more of that stuff. Do you remember you used to get the occasional...
I'm dating the clown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be brilliant. I can't tell you. I don't know if anything would make me happier than for you to say, I know this is... Get a text. Look, listen, I know this is a bit weird, but bear with me. I'm dating the Northampton Clown.
I'm going to go out with the clown.
Ah.
I would go on a date with him.
Well, yeah.
If the
He's
clown
got
is
to wear the
listening-
gear, though. He's got
Yeah.
to get the shoes right, surely.
Yeah.
If the clown is listening, I'm up for it. I'm up all night to get lucky.
Yeah, but what you're going to know is lots of men are going to turn up in clown outfits, claiming to be the NC. And
Yeah.
they ain't not NC. There is a bogus NC. Can I do the voice? Hold
Yeah,
on.
I think so.
No, apparently I can't. We all
Really?
thought we could, but according to the Absolute Journal,
That's a shame.
ain't no way, as it says.
We've also had an email in Dear Frank, Emily and the Cockerel, my wife Jules and I have many ways of conversationally frittering away long car journeys, one of which is the who would you most like to have as your neighbour conversation.
When he said my wife, Jules, I thought that was some reference to his...
I hope Miss Emily will be thrilled to find out that she came out as our number one choice, closely
For a
followed
neighbour?
by Tracy Thorne. Yes.
Lovely.
Closely followed by Tracy Thorne. That's one hell of a set of... I
Yes.
think we'll come back to this. I need to discuss
okay.
how they could be in the same Venn diagram, for goodness sake.
Fine.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Why not text us on 8 12 15? You know, it's the age of interactivity.
Yeah.
Or you can follow us on the Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email us through the Absolute website. There you go. You've got your options.
Bob and Charlie have gone out, Frank.
Have they?
Yeah.
What if they've just gone? What if this is actually our first example of industrial action? Anyway, we were mid
We might have to make our
email.
own hot drinks in those circumstances.
That'd be awful.
God, the hell I will.
Yeah.
I'm afraid Daisy's going to have to go back to the old days. Get the kettle on.
So we were in the middle of an email. It was what they call an old-fashioned cliffhanger, wasn't it?
When I'm in the middle of an email, close my eyes. Sorry, everyone.
Birmingham pub.
Where had I got to? Oh,
They
want me to-
they
yeah.
want Emily to be their neighbour, or Tracy
Or
Thorne.
Tracy Thorne.
yeah, closely followed by Tracy Thorne.
Or maybe
you were
together.
keen on the Venn diagram of that. That would be nice.
Yeah, but we
wouldn't
could be in a civil partnership. We both look like we could be together.
Yeah, I think the two of you together could be Paul McCartney and Nancy Thingy.
Cheval.
Yeah, because I think Tracy's
I
got
thought you were going to say
bit of-
Delolio. I was going to
got
kill
a bit
you.
of a Paul McCartney look about her, would you say?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, in his prime.
She hasn't gone Auburn, no. She's more mop top.
She hasn't gone purple.
She's top of the Apple building.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, that period.
And shall I continue with the
Oh,
email?
go on,
Closely
sorry.
followed by Tracy Thorne. Well, now dreams can become a reality.
Oh, can they?
We live
I didn't
in a
know that.
farm. Someone should market that.
Blimey.
I hope that
It's a
dream
bit-
you had last night doesn't become a reality.
No, I hope so. Yeah.
We live
Well,
in a
unless I take proper
farmhouse.
precautions.
We live in a
Now,
farmhouse.
Castle think I had a dream last night, which I didn't. I was just being comical.
They live in a
Better than being
farmhouse
conical.
just outside the picturesque Yorkshire town of Hebden Bridge. Now, let me
Oh.
say, that couple, the aforementioned couple, would
Oh, yeah.
be very accepted in Hebden Bridge. Next door, we rent out a charming 16th century self-contained cottage.
Oh.
It has 1.5 bedrooms.
1.5?
Sounds like a bedroom and a box
Who
room. to
stays
me.
there? The Crankies.
It has 1.5 bedrooms, single car parking, although it would have to be a 4x4 to get up the track.
Oh.
A garden
Bit
to grow a
Clarkson.
veg in, and a wood burner. We would like to offer Emily the chance to move in and be our neighbour.
Wow.
She would be welcome to pop round any time for a glass of wine and a chat around the Arga, and I'm convinced we will all be great chums.
Can I just
Hang on.
stop you there? Are we just being used as travel agents?
It does
Is just
seem
somebody
that way.
advertising their holiday home? Or is this a free? Are they
Yeah.
saying that Emily can just move in for nothing?
Exactly.
They haven't
Is it a Freebs?
They haven't elucidated the exact
don't
terms
like-
of the contract
Okay.
financially.
What about we could all be great chums? It's gone a bit car keys. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could discuss. We would love to discuss what's hot and what's not on the high street, and find out what went on behind the scenes on Day of the Triffids.
Oh,
we
yeah.
will also give her the
my
opportunity.
research.
Oh, here's the clincher.
Oh,
we
yeah.
would also give her the opportunity to babysit our 5-week-old son once a week while we go out.
Can I say, they're not much fun at 5 weeks.
No.
No,
It's like,
they're boring.
it's like owning a big fish.
Yeah.
It's like owning a slug.
Walk our dog Dot on the moors, and she can have
That's
as much firewood as she can chop.
That's going to be a problem, isn't it? Because if you're going
Why?
around with walking Dot on the moors, if you're shouting, Dot, Dot, you could be abusing the locals in Morse code.
Yeah.
And that's how people get alienated. And once they turn against you in a countryside community, I find they never come back. Have you seen Straw Dogs?
I can't imagine they're going to be more alienated by the Morse code than Emily walking the dog in high heels.
Yeah, but I worry. Dot sounds like an Alsatian, and you know I
think?
can't abide an Alsatian. 70s police show, I won't have it.
So, they continue.
Also, I find if ever you're out walking with a padded forearm, they will chase you and rip away at that forearm.
Yeah.
They will tear away at the sleeve.
And don't talk to me about hoops of fire.
Oh, God.
So could she please let us know when she wants to move in so I can make sure the mousetraps are put away and the dehumidifier switched off? All the best, Ben, Jules and Sam. So there you go, I mean, you haven't got a 4x4, have you, as far as I know?
No.
You ought to have one.
But I know someone who has. You're just thinking I'm some cigar-smoking clocks and type. The bit cigar smoker 4x4s, Frank.
No, but I mean, I think you're a woman who would like people to get out of the way.
Yeah, you're
generally
right.
speaking,
you're
in
right,
life.
Frank. You're so right.
Well, it sounds lovely, but I think
I'm in.
they'll want some sort of financial reimbursement. I hate it when that happens.
I'm in, though, Frank.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Roz has emailed us about a local character
Okay.
in the same vein to... I'm going to call him My Clown.
Okay.
In Mousehole, Cornwall...
My kind of clown. You're going to bring
My
that
kind of
song.
clown, yeah. Way back, 3 or 4 decades ago, lived a doctor's son who used to live in the small coppice above the sea. Well, it's very gather around the fireside, this.
It is. It's beautiful. I wish I was wearing a bigger jumper.
He was dressed from head to foot in silver each day and every day, right down to silver face makeup, and he used to come down to the village post office to pick up an allowance his father would send him. He was a really interesting and over-intelligent man. I like expression. That's love Roz in Portreath. Now, I like Roz because she's very on weirdos.
Yeah,
She's one of ours.
she's on the naked bike ride.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if the weirdos guy had seen this guy in silver coming down to the post office? Wow, could he have possibly been a spaceman?
Possibly.
You think?
Yeah.
Nice that you give him the credit of it's possible.
But what if that just an alien comes down and thinks, oh, I'll live in this coppice, and he walks around and maybe wearing a coppice. Who knows?
Have you seen E.T. recently?
Have I seen E.T.?
Yeah,
It's not silver, is it?
No, but it's an alien that comes down.
No,
and
but
lives
just
amongst
saying that
people.
nobody's challenged it. It could be a spaceman. Oh, I love the sound of this guy. Shall we get him on?
Yeah.
Is this someone? Is it from the past?
Well,
Oh, it
he's
does
in
say
court. It says
30
3 or 4
or 40
decades
years
ago.
Oh,
So,
that's the past, isn't it?
bit
Yeah,
of a
that is the
buzzkill.
past.
I'm calling that the past.
Okay. Shall we read another email?
Looking forward to him coming on.
Yeah.
He loves
Silver-
anything
my-
to do with space travel,
My
Frank.
silver nemesis. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read an email out from Malcolm, because I
Okay.
can. Hi, Frank, Emily and Beardy Alun.
Hi.
Your talk of evil wasps
Topical.
last week
Evil wasps.
Yeah.
Yes.
reminded me of a holiday we had in Greece a couple of years ago. We were sunbathing by the pool/bar and were being plagued by wasps going after our fresh orange juice.
You know what? That can kill a holiday. That can really ruin it.
Yeah.
The wasps. It's the sort of thing that you read on TripAdvisor. People saying, I loved this holiday except for the wasps.
You do. You love
I've never considered Gardener's question, Tom.
I managed to kill one with a magazine.
Oh,
nice choice.
Oh, no.
I've managed to kill many with a magazine. Cruel, maybe, but better than a slow death drowning in orange juice.
That's right. And also it doesn't ruin your own orange juice, do you? You're still an orange juice up.
Yeah, but you've killed. Could you
Yeah.
enjoy soft drinks after you've killed?
But he's... yes.
It's not
Comparing
me.
it in two different versions, there's killing, but one of them he's still got an orange juice. The other one he's got a slightly messed
but
up
we know
magazine.
No, the other one isn't a killing. The other one's accidental death.
No.
That's death by misadventure.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't think.
Anyway, what happened next?
Right.
What happened next? What a brilliant question of sport. What happened next this week? man on holiday pushing his wasps away.
I then watched as another wasp flew to its downed comrade and then, with its jaws, proceeded to cut its wings off, cut its legs off.
Hold on a minute. I'll be alright. I'll be alright in a minute.
Music to my ears.
Carry on.
And then cut the
Ah,
stripy.
the 80s.
Cut the stripy part away from the rest of the dead wasp.
What the?
Wow.
A wasp did that
then-
with its
It
things?
picked up the stripy part and flew away with it.
Oh, come on.
He means the sort of Kim Kardashian area, doesn't
What?
he?
Yeah, he means like the stripy part.
At first, I thought they were taking it away to eat it, being the cruel things they are. But then thought that
Then I
perhaps they
saw
were
it trying it on.
then thought perhaps they were recycling the sting, or perhaps they've got little black boxes so they can find out the cause of the crash.
That's a very good theory.
It's a great idea.
I like
Black
that.
and yellow
Malcolm.
boxes, I'm guessing.
You know who I think? I think it was like that slightly less drunk friend who says, "It's all right, mate. I've got you. I'll help you."
It's all right, officer.
Yeah,
I'll
I've
see you
got
get
it.
home all right.
I'm fine. I've got it under control.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, but when my friends got drunk, I tended not to snip away their outer flesh and take that.
Oh.
I mean, maybe twice. Could it? I mean, did the wasp who did it have a small tape measure around its neck? Could it have been in menswear?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I
maybe
have
it was an
heard.
undertaker. It had a little top hat with a ribbon on it.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I was on about that to someone the other day. Wouldn't it be a nightmare if you were one of those undertakers who wear black knickerbockers and a top hat with a black ribbon on?
Yeah.
And then you pulled at the funeral, and you stayed out all night with the person you pulled, and then you'd have to go to work the next morning wearing your knickerbockers and your top hat. It was plaguing me, that. What my theory is that they're selling these stripy bits on the black market to flies.
Oh, do you think so?
They've
Yes.
had enough of dog excrement. They want to be in with the bin crowd.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
These wasps.
What, wasps?
Well, I'm sickened by their behaviour. 479. Adult wasps are carnivorous and are cleaners, so they basically dispose of dead things.
Do they?
Like mafia characters.
What, even their own kind?
Apparently so.
Well,
Okay. Are they always in the toilets, in the men's toilets, when you go in there? That's what I find cleaners.
offering you a bit of aftershave. after
No, there's
you've
always
done your
cleaner.
pee-pee, yeah.
Whenever
Oh,
it's a
those
client,
cleaners.
there's always a female cleaner in the men's toilets doing
Oh,
something.
do you know, I was at a urinal, I'm saying,
Oh,
on
a lovely story.
Lovely
urinal
sanity.
in a very small public toilet, and a female cleaner walked in, and I was thinking, oh, she'll see that I'm here and go back out. And she just carried on cleaning right next to me, near enough touching shoulders.
Oh,
Oh,
mean-
she wasn't.
Too close in terms of proximity.
that's
Far.
terrible.
Oh, do you
I
know,
wouldn't be
I'm
surprised
so-
if she saw the gentleman's excuse me. I really
Oh,
wouldn't.
I'm so
You are.
glad you said gentleman's
You
excuse me.
are having a laugh. That's terrible.
Heels, the shop, that's where it was. There's a public toilet there. It's
Oh,
quite useful.
must start
if
hanging
you're
out
ever
there
in the,
more.
No, at
Tottenham
one
Court
time
Road
they
area.
used to walk straight out if they...
Well, that's...
you know, this is what's happened.
Yeah, it's yet another crumble in the wall of the fabric of our society. I've overdone the mix.
But you can't help thinking, well, you've got marigolds on.
Yeah. Personally, I'm quite jealous.
Yeah.
033. Anyway, about these wasps.
Oh, yeah.
I read that at this time of year, this is such a brilliant urban myth, the wasps have done all their jobs for the year, building nests and having, he describes it as how's your father with the queen.
So is there a queen wasp?
Yeah, there is.
No,
Is there?
is there?
Yeah, it looks like Freddie Mercury. So now
Okay.
they're having a type of leaving do by feeding on fermented fruit and getting drunk.
This is an actual theory.
And they get slightly crazy and violent.
Well,
Okay.
that would, if they're
Well, that's sorted.
the fermented fruit would support the stories that kicked this off, wasn't it? It was dried fruit that you left out. Oh, it
No,
was
no.
Ribena,
They were
wasn't it?
after Mike Robinson's lemon
yeah.
barley water.
Well, they might think that's booze for their leaving do.
I'm not enjoying this theorising about the
Yeah,
wasp.
well, I'll tell
I
you,
am
we've had
enjoying
a
it.
question, 553. Hi,
making me
Frank.
itch. You know when you
Hi,
start
Frank,
itching?
Ems, and the cocked one. What? Oh, God, sorry about that. What do you think of Peaky Blinders? Apart from some of the accents coming straight from Vic and Bob, do you think it's good? That's Yvette in West Brom.
Well, I like it. In fact, they sent me a Peaky Blinders cap, promotional cap, but of course, having one of the biggest heads in Britain, it
Yeah.
won't fit me.
I can't believe you're not in it. I mean, you must be a terrible actor. Like,
I know.
if you
Well, that's
can't
what
get in that.
that's what I watch it, and I don't watch many dramas, but I thought, watch this. It's set in Birmingham, and I was enjoying it. I did keep
Set in
thinking.
Birmingham.
That's why I couldn't enjoy the Grimleys. I just kept thinking, why am I not in this then?
Yeah.
I can do the accent.
What about when you auditioned for that Hollywood film and you had to do an American accent? Don't you remember that? Yeah,
That
he did,
sounds
didn't you
good.
know
Oh,
that?
yeah, it's terrible. I couldn't
What
do
did
it.
you do, Frank?
It's just
You had-
embarrassing.
Oh, I loved
I
it.
felt I had to go really deep. Well, what's going on here with it? It's awful. I felt I really disgraced myself.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
I want to talk about this BBC News presenter. Did ye see this character? I think he's called Simon McCoy.
Oh, yes.
No relation to Sylvester. I'm sorry, Frank. Don't
No,
get too
No,
excited.
he's not the real
Okay.
McCoy.
Excellent.
But he did a news bulletin, and instead of holding aloft, I was going to say the traditional iPad. It's hardly traditional, but that's
Modern.
what's customary these days. He walked on set with a wad of photocopier paper.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
He
Did
said
you see
that. He
it?
said he went to grab his iPad and he grabbed the photocopy paper instead.
A BBC spokesman said he just went with it.
Yeah, he did. He went with it
He went
on
with
camera.
it, yeah.
Well, it went with him, I suppose.
Yeah.
I had mixed feelings about it because
Okay.
first of all, I love stationery.
Right.
I mean, I love. Get me in Ryman, and I'm. Oh man, it's just fabulous. So for me, on one level, it was a right old come on, but but on another level,
Absolutely disgusting.
one of my real problems with the news is that when they say, and then we're going to go through the papers with
Oh, yeah.
Dirk Wahlberg and Kevin
Wahlberg.
Messerschmidt, and
On the International Week.
yeah, and they hold up, and they don't hold up the papers. They don't go through the papers. They go through photocopies of the papers. And I've
Yeah,
pointed
you
this
hate
out on
that.
many occasions. You can see the white underbelly of the photocopy.
Yeah,
Sky
so-
Newsman. We call him Sky Newsman.
If you're going to read
He
that,
doesn't.
I've done the papers on Andrew Marr, and they said, "Can you hold them sort of down a bit because we don't want to sort of, you know."
What did you say?
And I
the
said,
papers on Andrew Marr.
you better believe it." I said, "I hate it when you see that you see it." So they're holding photocopies. Oh, how cheap! If you're going to go through the papers, guess what? Hold the papers. They're readily available in paper shops.
Yeah.
Right. But
Do you hate those more, or do you hate, on the one show when they do the little photographs, bit all put together? I don't like that.
No, I'm happy with those, especially
Okay.
when there's a bubble where they've been stuck on the cardboard. But this was rubbing my nose in it to go out just with unused photocopy of paper and say, "What about this on the news then?" No need for it.
I think he might be sending a powerful message out because traditionally, in the days of Trevor McDonald, he used to shuffle the papers, didn't
That's
he?
true.
And maybe that was his message saying we should do a return to this.
Yeah, what they should do is get rid of the iPad, get an Etch-a-Sketch,
Yeah.
and they can do from that, then just shake it clear at the end. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
I just worry about this Simon McCoy chap's fingertips. Has he got absolutely no sensitivity in them? Because if you pick up an iPad, it does not feel the same as a packet of photocopier paper. People spend hours researching how to make iPads feel nice and satisfying, and then he picks it up and mistakes it. I just don't believe... Although it did remind me of the time. I told you a few weeks ago that I worked for Grace Landscapes, landscape gardening company.
Gardener's question
don't know.
time again.
I don't know if I've ever told you the time that I laid a whole patio and
Well, no, you certainly
No,
haven't.
and that sickens me.
at the end I realised that I hadn't used paving slabs. There was just a big pile of the yellow pages there, but I was a bit distracted when I was doing it. Alright, I made that one up.
Frank, he's lucky it was photocopier paper. Could have been a copy of Mein Kampf.
Yeah?
Do you know what I mean?
Well, exactly.
That he
That
had
would
on
have-
his desk
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
That would have brought the house down. What about if it had been the OC? I mean, he gets so many freebies. He could have picked up
Oh, yeah.
that gold jacket on the back of his chair. What if he'd gone on with that?
50 Shades of Grey.
That would have been an absolute nightmare. Anyway,
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I have an anecdote of...
we got an anecdote.
I've got an anecdote, but it's not... It doesn't show me in a great light. It's what I think Emily would call mortificado.
Oh.
I recently went on a little retail trip to the Trafford Centre in the northwest of England. I live in Manchester. I should explain to some of our readers who may not know. But I I've been, in the last couple of weeks, a cycling commuter. I've been trying to ride my bike...
What, to London?
No. Although I've been bringing a folding bike to London.
I
and
love
then
that
cycling
bike.
once within London. But at home, I have an 80s rally bike that I cycle about to get to places. It's got mudguards and stuff, perfect for Manchester. So anyway...
Sort of Elliot in E.T. style.
Last couple of years, I've been on a search. Not couple of years, maybe the last 6 months. I've been on a search for some black jeans. I would like
not
to be.
that hard to track down. Are they?
Well, you'd think, Frank.
I'd
but-
say 70% of our listeners are wearing them as we speak.
Well, I've joined them finally. I had to go to the Trafford Centre to buy some from Marks and Spencer's. Couldn't get them. Couldn't get them from
How was
Levi's.
the cut? Were you going for a skinny?
Well, this is the problem, you see. I would like to wear Levi's, but the 501, it grabs me too close to the gentleman's excuse me. It does. My upper thighs are too
I don't wanna know
too
about your upper
large for
thighs.
the
That's for
501s.
cycling, you see.
It might be that. It might be the...
I didn't know you had Bill Beaumont issues in that area.
I don't think I do, but I think it's just there are... Anyway, I've gone for M&S, and I'm happy with them.
This is
Slightly
like what
weird one,
we used to call in our childhood Tesco Levi's.
Yeah, well, I'd gone for
You did.
Slightly
and I can
weird
say that
moment.
with full conviction.
So I cycled to the Trafford Centre, right, and I'd only just started using that bike, and I've got one of those locks that goes through the front wheel and the frame, and I had a little moment of going, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll lock the helmet to it as well, and that way I don't have to carry the helmet in the shot. So I did that, went into Marks and Spencer. I'm here to collect my jeans. The guy said, I've just been listening to you on the radio on a podcast.
No.
I think I made myself seem like I thought I was Johnny Big Bananas, because I said to him, which
Well,
show?
if you are Johnny Big Bananas, that's why you can't wear the 501.
I said, which show? Thinking he might have been listening
Which
to my
show?
own Radio 4
Which
series, or just
show?
a
Get
minute.
you.
And he went,
And he
went
said
the Frank
garden-
Skinner one.
He said gardener's
right
question time.
So I pick up the jeans.
Which show?
I'm pleased. I've got them in my little backpack. I go back to where I've locked the bike up. Gone. I've been the
You
victim
could
of
have
a
had
stolen
501.
bicycle. Been the victim of
No.
a stolen bike. I walk back into the entrance. I say to the guy in the shop, I've parked a bike out there in that bike rack, and it's gone. And he went, okay, I'll phone security, see if they've got any CCTV. Phone security, and the guy says, I might have some good news and some bad news for you, Mr. Cochrane. What kind of bike is it? I said, it's a Rally Team Banana from the 1980s. I don't like to brag, but I got it on Gumtree for £100.
You told him all that?
And he went, well, I've got your bicycle behind me. We've got a proactive security policy here, and you hadn't locked it up properly, so we've stolen it for you.
I think we'll come back to this.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So I'd only gone and done a David Cameron, by which I mean I'd locked my bike up badly, rather than that I'd left my child in a pub.
But they stole it for you.
They stole it for me.
That was very good of them.
Well, you say that, but it put me back by about 45 minutes, because I had to go to a different bit of the Trafford Centre to collect it. And then the guy, what I'd done is I'd locked the bike to its frame, the wheel and the frame together, but not to the bar. So
Well,
they just lifted it off.
Well, that's right, though. They were right to reprimand you for that. And also, you've learnt a valuable lesson. You should thank them for that.
Well, why couldn't I just learn that lesson by having my bicycle stolen, or not, and returning to it still there? Like, it might have still been there.
No, you're being stubborn about it, but
And
I
the guy
think
said
I'm
to
with
me,
them.
The guy said to me,
You
it was
should
really
have
hard to
found them.
carry it around this corner, actually. I said, was it? It's almost like you could have left it there. I was tempted to...
Doing you a major favour.
I was tempted to bop him on the nose and say, there you go, you've learnt a lesson, keep
Cockrell,
your
don't
guard
do
up.
that.
Oh.
You're too good looking to get into fights at the moment.
At the moment.
This is
Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Hey, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. But someone has just tuned in for the first time.
Well, they're going to feel left out when we carry on something that we were talking about 10 minutes ago.
No, they'll pick up on it. You
Well-
know how it is. It's like when you watch Enders. You haven't seen
Yeah.
it for years.
Enders?
Yeah.
Still the same guys, yeah.
Well, it's not always the same guys, but it's the same species.
We've had a text, Alun, count yourself lucky, at least you've still got your rally banana. My childhood pride and joy was reversed over by a woman in a Vauxhall Viva while I was battling to get my foot in the, at the time, very fancy pedal clips.
Ooh.
I tried to get her attention, but my protestations fell on deaf ears. Quite literally, she was deaf.
Oh,
Oh, no.
where do we go with that?
I don't know, but
Okay,
that's
leave it.
people are
So
laughing and it's wrong.
He's right, though. I have
That
still
was
got...
Bob. That was Bobby's leaving. Don't
I've
bother
still
writing
got
it.
the rally banana. I'm,
He's
In
been
fact,
dealt with.
I've just sacked him.
Do you know, that took a lot of moral courage.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
respect you, Frank. Others
Yeah.
wouldn't have done that.
I'm not having that woman laughed at just because she was driving over one of our readers. Doesn't make her a bad person.
What about Dan 4? Dan 4 says,
What's Dan for?
stand
oh
for.
no, it's Dan,
No,
it's
no,
Dan
it's-
Poor. Sorry, Dan, I won't be speaking to you.
No, that was. It's a philosophical question. What's Dan
No,
for?
he's called Dan Poor, which is
Okay.
significantly reduced his chances of me befriending him. On the subject...
He came round the other night and went on and went about existentialism. It's a very heavy downpour.
On the subject of Alan's stolen bike, I work for a particular law enforcement agency, bailiff, and I've seen this tactic
Interpol.
used on people's cars when they've left them running to defrost on their driveways
yeah.
in the winter. Too far? Question mark?
Wow.
Exclamation mark?
Oh, but think of the joy of thinking you're having it stolen and then someone saying, I mean, didn't you feel uplifted?
I didn't feel that
That
joyful
it wasn't
about it.
stolen.
Do you know what it felt like? When I was a kid, sometimes we would walk past my mum and she would sort of fairly gently cuff us on the back of the head and say, "That's for nothing, see what you get for something."
Yeah.
Did other people have this in their upbringing?
Extraordinary philosophy.
Yeah. I
That's
like
what
that.
it felt like. It felt like,
The
hang
great
on,
thing
I'm
about your
38
mum-
years old and I'm still getting "that's for nothing, see what you get for something."
I like the
I
fact
like
that
it.
your mum didn't like to leave things to the last minute.
I like, what's your parental philosophy? That's good. Mine was Pastor Peter Stuyvesant. That was my parental philosophy. Yours, Frank?
I think mine was... I think did I explain mine the other week? Maybe I was talking to someone else about...
Yeah.
We used to have the pools man. Used to come round our house, the man who collected the pools money.
Oh, yeah.
And there'd been a story in the paper that week that a local pools man... This is the football pools, okay, you know. A local pools collector had not been putting the money in. He'd been keeping it for himself, and this person had won. And, of course, they hadn't really won because the money hadn't been going in. And when he arrived, my dad said, did you see that story about the pools collector that took the money? And the bloke said, yes, everyone's been talking about that this week. And my dad said, you know I'd find you and kill you, don't you? It's very awkward atmosphere.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
So the cockerel in the Trafford Centre was on about... I suppose that the bloke was saving you from yourself when he nicked that bike.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's really,
He did
really
say-
sulky
Really
about it.
upset
He did
about
say,
it.
"Oh, that'll be gone in no time round here."
I think you should have thanked him.
I did thank him, but
Oh, there you
through
go.
gritted teeth.
Okay. Well, I was working with some guys this week, and one of them went out and said, "Do anyone fancy any treats?" And I said, "Well,
How old was he? 6?
I wouldn't mind." I said, "I wouldn't mind a dime bar."
Oh, dame. Or
So
dime?
a dame. Yeah, there's
There is
nothing.
nothing like a dame.
So he came back. He came back with a 6-pack of dime bars,
Oh,
Lovely.
and he said to me, "I'll give you one of these. I'll put the rest out of harm's way. So I know what you like with the dime bars." So he gave me one, and he
Did
took
you
them
say,
away.
if you come back, I'll kill you?
No, I was grateful.
Yeah.
Because I am like that with dime bars. I chain eat with them, the way chain smokers smoke.
Yeah.
And I tell you, as you get older and your brain patterns get slower, you know, when you send out to the nerve endings and they send back to the brain. What happens with me is I have a dime bar, and then I think I'll have another one. And about halfway through, my stomach sends out I feel a bit sick now.
right.
By the time it reaches my brain, I'm on dime bar 4.
Oh dear.
And then I'm feeling really sick. So unlike the cockerel, who was very sullen about it, I'm grateful that I was saved from myself.
Well, aren't you the big man?
On a slightly different note, I was in a shop recently, and I was buying some shoes. And I tried
What
on
are we
them.
talking? I know you always buy the same shoe. I'm asking
it was a brown lace-up.
Of course it was.
And I said to the guy, I tried a 9 and it was a little bit snug. I said, can I try a 10 in these? And he went,
I love him.
yeah. I thought, how far away is the storeroom
Yeah.
that means that you have to do that? I said, is that a problem? He went, no.
Oh.
And then off he went. I mean... And not only that, but he had quite a big on-burst spot.
Oh.
Now, I think if you work in retail, you need to check yourself now and again. It made
Before
me...
you wreck yourself.
Yeah, it just made me feel... You know how an on-burst spot makes you feel tense? I couldn't look at anything else.
See, I wanted you to hit him with the shoe when he just sighed, but now that he's got an unburst spot,
Hit him with
I feel
the
like
shoe.
you should hit him with the
Some
shoe that you've just tried on.
Deposed Middle Eastern leader style.
Hit him with the 9, right on the spot.
He's a man who you want to see get his head caught in a lift door and get all them spots out of the way in one go. Like pouring Advocar through a colander.
Oh.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank and Alan, Michael Boggle has tweeted us. He says...
Word up, Boggle.
Yeah,
He
the
says-
mind... Sorry, Mike. How many times have you heard these
Yeah.
jokes?
Oh.
I
Mind,
apologise.
he says, he starts it with AW. Sometimes I feel a bit stupid listening to this. Imagine how we feel taking part.
Not someone stupid, just embarrassed.
Yeah. Deeply ashamed. All the references to people I don't know, random actors, how dare you, that's my family, or Saturday night TV knowledge. But
Can you
when
not mention Saturday Night TV ever again?
But when, oh God. But when you start talking about anything remotely scientific, I realise we just have different areas for what we know, because bless you all, it's not your subject. much love, darlings. Recent neuroscience graduate Mikey.
Wow.
Well done, Mikey, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Johnny Cash who said we live in two different worlds, dear. Your world is honest and true. My world is made out of hearts that are broken. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Doing a lot of
It wasn't
Johnny
one of his.
Cash
It was one of his best. Yeah, I don't know. I've gone a bit cash crazy.
I have a kindred spirit who has sent a missive,
Oh,
ladies
God.
and gentlemen. Good morning, Frank and team. When I was around the age of 10, I had my bike stolen from outside a shop. The bike was kindly replaced by my parents, but I left it in the back garden unlocked, so my mum hid it from me to teach me a lesson and didn't tell me for the entire day. And on top of that, she had me walking around the whole village trying to find it. I'm still a little bit bitter, from Ed in Dorking. See?
Well done, Mum.
Kindred spirit.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I'm 38 and he was 10, but the point stands.
But imagine when she said, "Come here, here's your bike," but the joy of it.
I don't like that.
I mean, I think it's an
like
alright
when you
life
steal
lesson for a
things.
10-year-old
I
from
used
a family member. But
No, but I used to do a thing like if I met someone this time of the day and I'd say, "God, it's 5 to 12," and they go, "What? Is it?" And I'd say, "No, but now I've just given you another hour and a half on your life."
yeah.
And
I think
it's
that's
like
a bit
gift.
sociopathic, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but is that a bad thing?
Dan Rowson has emailed us, subject line yellow and green jelly babies.
Oh yes, I was talking about this. Not just jelly babies, but why do they make the green and yellow sweets when everyone likes the black and red ones? The orange I'm seeing as a sort of control.
They're a gateway drug, the orange.
Yes.
After listening last week, I couldn't believe the three of you were unanimous in your dislike of the yellow and or green sweet. These are by far my most favourite.
Oh, come on.
If anyone from the manufacturers is listening, please do send them in to me. Well, that's going to be hard to arrange, Dan.
He's like those girls who thought Dave Baddiel was the sexy one in Newman and Baddiel. They're just trying to be different.
I thought that.
He's trying to be different. He doesn't like the green and yellow ones.
Compare David Baddiel to a jelly baby. Colin,
He's sweet and cuddly.
He is.
And dense. Very dense. I think they're denser than they used to be, jelly babies.
You think they've changed the formula?
Or my jaw muscles are packing up.
Maybe they're atrophying.
No, I think they've got more give in them. No, less give in them, rather.
Now, we can't ignore this any longer. We've had, I think this is brilliant, this theory regarding my clown.
Oh, and the NC.
Yeah, the NC.
In case you just tuned in, we were talking about a mysterious person who walks around Northampton at night, known as the Northampton Clown, because he's dressed as a clown.
Yeah. Colin Logan says, Mr. Skinner and staff, could it be that the clown is wearing sensible footwear on the off chance someone decides to give chase? P.S. Got any wham?
Of course. Can't he get a small unicycle for such emergencies? A really, really tiny one.
Perfect.
Yeah. I hate the idea of people chasing the Northampton Clown.
Do you?
Big thugs, drunken thugs chasing.
Well, you're going to be going out on a double date with Kath with him soon, so I wouldn't worry about
I'm
it.
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I tell you, better wear the full doodah.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Now, I would like to share with you this extraordinary mother.
Hey, can you just be a bit... I know we've done some rapping earlier. Don't get carried away.
Time.
I'm watching the box set of Broken Bird. I can't help it.
Broken bad.
No, he calls it Broken Bird.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, don't start about American.
Do you know, Daisy, the
Television.
cockerel and I have been discussing
Oh,
Broken
no.
Bird all
Broken
morning,
Bird.
haven't we?
Broken
good.
Bear.
Frank got so upset.
Oh, don't tell me. Spoiler alert.
I said, oh my God, what about this? And Frank went, I'll be watching Peaky Blinders.
Yes.
And then he said he'd be watching Atlantis.
I'm looking forward to Atlantis.
Why do you watch such weird things?
What do you mean?
Merlin, Atlantis.
Yeah, like, you
did
know...
you watch?
Very
Oh,
fish-based.
sorry, I accidentally watched some British programmes.
It's all a bit quaint, babe, the stuff that you watch.
Mm.
Okay, my mum, this is an email.
Yeah. Is it going to turn out she's gone to Iceland?
No.
Okay.
My mum told me I'd achieved a 2-2 in my psychology degree, whereas in fact I had a 2-1. She told me after a couple of minutes, but I've never felt any pleasure about the 2-1 and have never forgiven her.
She got the psychology wrong on that, then.
They're the psychological scars for some time.
That's fantastic, though.
Yeah.
I love the sociopathic mum.
I wonder after a few minutes when she said, no, you've got a 2-1 really, the mum then added, that's for nothing, see what you get for something.
I think at the end of the show I'm going to say, hey, guess what? Bob's not really leaving. And all over Britain there'll be a massive sigh of it. Anyway, so what else?
No, but then we've got his offensive comments hanging over us.
Has he got offensive comments?
Yeah, that's why you sacked him. You've forgotten already.
Oh, yeah, of course, haven't we? Yeah.
Sit with the story, Frank.
God, you spend 2 days with Pauline Quirk. You're out of control.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I haven't spent 2 days with Pauline Quirk.
No, not for a long time.
I think we need to discuss the mayor of Nottingham.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Mayor of Nottinghamshire?
Yes.
Don't
Yeah.
get those mixed up.
Same difference
They get
to
very
me.
awful.
Same difference to me.
Whatever you say, Notts Forest.
Potato,
Nottingham Forest
potato,
fans.
that's what I say.
that?
Potato, potato.
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
That's very tuba-based.
Yeah. He's been told not to wear his bling.
Yes.
He's been banned. By
And Mayor, who's told
Yeah.
he can't wear his chain.
Yeah.
I mean, can that be right?
That's surely one of the reasons why you would become a mayor.
Exactly.
Well, that's
Is
it.
the bling.
I mean, I've been considering jewellery, but I'm slightly self-conscious about it. Yeah, I was going to get loads of necklaces and stuff, and instead,
Not
rather than-
wife jewellery.
instead having to come in here,
B.A.
and Bob
Baracus.
go, Alan, you've got 4 necklaces on. You didn't have them on last week.
Yeah.
I thought what I'd do is just begin a political career and become a mayor, so that.
Alan, don't
People-
wear 4 necklaces.
You wouldn't come
I
in
ain't
in
getting
four
on no plane.
What about
Yeah.
one and a pinky ring?
I can only do one thing, and that's be Lady Sovereign.
What if I wore? What if I wore one and a pinky ring? Would you think that was me? Because I think this could be me.
Well, you wear a wedding ring, don't
I
you?
do, yeah.
I wear, actually,
What do you
it's,
wear?
I wear a medallion of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Lovely.
What do you wear?
I don't have time to start going through all my
No,
jewellery.
you don't. I was going to say that'll cover the travel.
I felt sorry for the mayor, though.
I did.
I love a bit of Dick Whittington.
Generally, I like a mayor.
So do I.
I've met a few mayors at do's.
Who's your favourite mayor? I like Dick Whittington.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Who's my favourite mayor? It would have been Clint Eastwood.
Oh, that's a good choice, Frank.
Yeah, but
Lovely.
then he became a bit right-wing balmy, didn't he?
I don't know if he's as right as we think he is. I think he might be balmy.
Here goes the apologist.
Oh, yeah.
But he did that
Lance
thing.
Armstrong, didn't
He did that thing when he talked to Barack Obama sitting in a chair when he wasn't sitting in a chair. You know, that mime thing.
Yeah.
He's a bit with my cold dead hands, yeah.
I don't know if he's that bad.
Oh, is he not?
My cold dead hands. I like the sound of this. Maybe this is something we should discuss off hair. Off hair.
Oh,
off
talking
hair.
of hair, someone's texted us about your hair, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
We were talking about the mayor of Nottinghamshire being Song Shane.
Yeah.
Naked, a cappella, he's going without.
So you see, I find that the reason when you mayors are often like quite comical, jolly, nice people when you meet them, and I think it's because they wear the big chain, all their sort of macho posturing is catered for by the jewellery, so they can just relax and be themselves.
You think?
I just don't want a mayor wearing some horrible old suit.
Oh no, they're
Like
going to be
a-
wearing. They always wear a horrible old suit.
No, I know, but imagine if he's robbed of his chain and his kind of ermine or whatever it is they wear, the slightly Thomas More vibe going on. He is just,
But I'm on
Graham
about
Kelly,
There's
isn't
the
he?
guys who play it down a bit, who just wear suit and chain.
oh, that's awful. You can't mix it up.
No, I like suit and chain, and also I think if you are a mayor, it's an interesting insight into what it must be like to be a lady.
Right.
Because when I talk to a mayor, I'm constantly looking down at his enamelling, and women get that all the time, and I think
Do they sometimes just point at their own face and go, hello, eyes on the prize.
I think they
Stop
should.
looking at my chest, please, Frank.
Wouldn't it be
I
great
point
if
to my
mayors
bottom
did
when I
that?
say that.
Yeah, don't talk to my office. To me, I think they should do that. I'm not keen. I think he should be allowed to. Also, they
What's the
have
reason?
terrible lives. I mean, look at him.
Mayors.
Oh,
Yeah.
terrible.
You can start an appeal for them.
Would you want to be a mayor?
I'd love to be a mayor.
Oh, how much salmon roulade can a man eat?
Do you know why I wouldn't want to be a mayor, Frank? I'd have to wear one of those black cats with the white frills on it. I don't.
But you rarely see them in all that. They're sort of comedy mayors. Remember the town crier who
Suggesting
announced...
I have an outdated, cliched notion of what a mayor dresses like.
Exactly. I'm talking about your active, real mayors.
You're talking
that
about
you
local
spend
government.
a lot of time with. Apparently you meet
Well, I do.
these
Every
guys
time
all
I
the
go
time.
to a do, there's a mayor. There's always a mayor. There's a mayor. Yeah. Any
You
social
lied
gathering.
once on the show and said when you used to be a mayor when you were a child or
What
something.
do you say I lied?
yeah.
Did you check it? No, I thought
I
not.
wonder if this mayor has had a thought of, when they say you're not allowed to wear the chains, why couldn't he just wear them under his shirt?
Like Superman.
Oh, disgusting.
Clark Kent, though. Be brilliant. And then when you really need a mayor, they just rip their jacket out.
There's some industrial action.
Let's have a picture
suppose they do
of him in his chain, presenting a golden designer shoe
Yeah.
Yeah.
trophy
Jimmy Choo.
to Rebecca Adlington.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, I met Rebecca Adlington, and she didn't have designer shoes on. Because people always say, oh, she loves the designer shoes,
Yeah.
Rebecca Adlington. So I said, I thought you'd have your Louboutins on.
Lovely work, Frank.
And she said, do you know something? I've only ever owned one pair of designer shoes. And I just mentioned it once to a journalist that I'd bought these shoes. And now I'm the designer shoes woman. And that poor mayor had been ensnared in a lie that was not his own. Surely now he can wear a bit of jewellery as compensation.
No, they said, I believe the Mansfield Local Council said he needs to be concentrating on his job.
But why does the chain Stop that.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's that little clasp thing. He's spending too long each day.
It can be a pain,
He's
that.
threading those clasps. It's probably...
And you know when
But
it's
that's 3
easier,
hours of his
it's
working
easier
week,
if you
that.
bring it round the front and do it, but you just
Yeah.
won't. You think, no, I'll do it at the back of the neck if it kills me, and
And
you keep
also if
just missing the loop.
I'm
puts
going to
that
go out
many
with him
chains-
and make him just wear the chain and nothing else. And the clown.
Yeah, that'd be a great...
Oh my
Perhaps they
gosh.
could be chained together.
What a social life you've got planned.
Stick around.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in, I think for me, try the Levi's 505s. I had the same problem.
Oh, big thigh man.
Yeah. We've also had an email. This is becoming like a fashion section of the show. How fitting.
How fitting, lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. With regard to Frank's dilemma on advising a stranger that her skirt is see-through, I had a
yeah.
similar
I should say
dilemma.
this. I saw a lady and a skirt. I don't think she knew, but you could see right through the back of the skirt.
We
You
should
could
say-
see a label on her thigh.
You were on a street.
I was on the street,
You weren't in
yeah.
Raymond's review bar.
No, she was walking and people were staring, and I thought, should I tell her I hadn't got the courage?
Well, Steve is saying, I took the brave, aka stupid decision to advise a lady that her skirt had become caught and was displaying her bottom to all, although mostly to the growing crowd of men who happened to be walking directly
Yeah.
behind her in the
They ma-
same direction.
They make you sick.
They'd make me sick.
Sickos.
Filthy creeps.
Weirdos.
She was understandably embarrassed, and I felt terrible for telling her, so I'm still unsure if I did the right thing or not. Help. Incidentally, it appears there is a bit of a craze in Japan where you can buy clothing that intentionally looks see-through. That explains my outfit today, everyone.
Yes.
So
I've
maybe
seen
Frank
those.
was just lured into some kind of trap.
No, I've seen those skirts, and they've got like a... It does look like the
They have a
see-through, and you
sheen.
can see their bottom. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
they're sprayed on, painted on. But obviously they pick...
really?
Obviously they choose perfect bottoms.
I've seen those skirts.
Yeah.
Where have you seen them? In Japan?
I don't know.
I haven't seen
I
them.
think they were in the Daily Mail, on
Were
Mail
they?
Online.
Okay, I'll let you off.
I'm going to own up to
So,
that.
Frank, what do you think about this?
But this wasn't one of those. This was very much a real bottom. You know, as a bottom, I'd say one could go so far as to say it was too real.
Oh, really?
So I don't think this would have been... You know, it's too real in a way that traditionally served offal can be too real.
Oh, God.
So, no, it wasn't sprayed
You're
on.
saying her bottom was awful?
No, it was...
Oh, you know where I stand on this?
It wasn't the sort of bottom you'd see in an artist's impression. That's what
I
I'm saying.
understand. I really am not for telling these people at all.
Really?
Because it's
Wouldn't
a
you,
bit-
if you came in here
Yeah.
and you're accidentally wearing your skirt was see-through and you didn't know, you wouldn't want us to tell you honestly.
Point one, it would never be accidental. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Point two, give yourselves a bit of fun. I'd like to treat you both for the morning. That would be my gift to you.
Look, I don't think we'll ever have that kind of fun again unless you keep getting. That's our only hope. Thank you so much for listening this morning. You know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.